Hi everyone, Michelle here at Serendipity House in New Hampshire. I am just photographing my latest project using the Iron Orchid Designs Les Cloches Mould and the IOD Mold. I embedded some electric lights, string lights, in the mold with some resin. It was a multi-day process. It was messy, and I am going to share the entire process with you here. Check this out. This is a 20-foot light, so I'm going to continue to add onto this. You want to know something funny though? Wait till you see what a process this is. I actually had out the Victoria mold thinking I was going to put a phrase in here, which is actually pretty funny when you see like how difficult it was to get the wire not to float. I had big ambitions. So if you are more patient than I and come up with some trick to keep the wire in more easily than I did, I would love to know. Share it with me, share it with all the other creators. Thank you so much for watching. Have fun. Check your string lights to make sure they work. I actually spent a fair amount of time bending and prepping my wire and figured out that it wasn't going to just lay in here flat. What I focused on is making sure there was empty wire between each casting and that the wire is both going in and out of the top, which is where I want this to hang from when I'm finished. I used my silicone molds to hold the wire in place so it wouldn't float, knowing that they would not stick to the epoxy. And I only did a partial pour, basically just enough to get the wire to stick inside the casting. The next day, everything looks good, the lights work, and I'm pretty excited. Now my second pour, I'm going to play with some color, so I'm mixing up some DIY pigment powders. I am mixing up the resin by just following the directions on the box. I'm using Alumilite clear cast resin. Double check that everything is still level, and you can continue to fill your molds with the resin. You can see here real quick that I'm doing a second string of leaves here with just one pour to see how that works out. And I also have an extra Persephone up there in the corner that I use to pour any extra resin in when I'm working because I hate the waste. I was so excited to get to work the next day and check these out, and I think they actually look pretty good. There was some overpour from the weight of the molds over the top, but this is pretty easy to clean up with a razor blade or an X-Acto knife. There's even a spot here I'm showing you where there was resin that spilled over onto the wire, and I'm just cutting around both sides of it. And you don't even see this when it's all finished because it's clear and it just disappears. If you don't like the frosted look of your castings, use a clear water-based top coat and it will make everything translucent. I'm using DIY paint Big Top. For one of my cloches, I decided to add some of the bronze transfer. I'm just using my fingers to press it down and burnish it. And when it's finished, I'm going to use one more coat of sealer. Also, after seeing these all lit up, a couple things I would do differently is have a painted back or front where I'm going to lay the transfers. And also I wouldn't overlap because the extra light in there, you can see both layers. It doesn't really look like forefront and background. So now I'm using my gold gilding wax. I just put it on my finger and rub all of the high areas. And here's a trick: if you mess up and you get the gilding where you don't want it, just take some clear wax on a little brush and you can go ahead and erase your mistakes. And that's it. They're all ready to enjoy. Although for me, I've got about 10 feet of wire left, so I'm going to continue to add to these and try some different ideas. I would love to see what you create. You can find a product list below and everything I used at serendipity.house. Have fun!